What are you?
I heard something.
It's windy outside. That's a window. It's not brick.
Boring.
Breaking the fourth wall. It's fucking. It's a set. It's make believe.
Boring ass wind.
It's driving me nuts, man.
It's been windy for like 4 days in a row.
I can't even do my hair.
I can't even fly a kite right. It's stupid as shit.
You don't fly kites.
I tried.
You tried to fly a kite. Make you happy?
No. Nope.
Dude, I was just reading this book. There was a really sweet moment where like this sick kid was like,
yeah.
Damn, dude.
Reading a book.
Oh, it was audible. I was listening to it.
Oh, go on.
We have a book to review coming up.
Nice.
You will read.
Great.
You will be forced to read.
Sounds so good.
It's a children's book. You might be able to get through it.
I can read it. I know this. I know some of those words.
It's a Goosebump book. But it's one that wasn't made into a show. It's only a book. Dude, come. It'll be fun. The book looks fun.
It does. It looks like a good cover. There's a good back to it. Looks like a lot of thought got into it.
You got to focus on the in-between the covers, dude. That's what you got to flip through a little bit. God damn.
Interesting. That's coming up, I guess. Great.
Let's just start this. I don't know what mood you're in, dude.
3, 2, 1.
You can't let me hang it like that.
I do the pacing around here.
Killers, welcome all you kings, scream queens, and everything in between. This is the Kings of Kill podcast. We're your hosts. My name's Zach.
I'm Steven.
Together we are the Kings of Kill. I do it the same way you say you want to say it with me.
And then I forgot that we were doing
up.
That, and then I didn't, and then I did again, and then I just...
Thank you for tuning in to whatever the fuck this is. We appreciate you being here. A huge shout out to all of our killer fans, no matter what platform you're watching on. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, thank you. Don't sexually moan already.
That was not a sexual moan. That was like a Keanu Reeves Matrix 2 moan.
What? When does he?
He probably moans in that just exactly how I did it.
I don't think that's a line in that film.
Look it up. I'm not.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Usually each and every episode is thanks to you, our killer fans' requests. How to do that? You can write to us, kingsofkillpodcast@gmail. If you listen on Spotify, you can send us a voicemail. And if you're on YouTube, yell us in the comments. It's super easy. Each and every episode is thanks to your requests. Anything horror-related, we really appreciate it. But today, we have a special episode.
It's true.
With a special guest.
It's true.
This is your color commentary?
I don't have much left in me.
The show just started.
I know, anyways.
Don't get off your phone. God, playing Tetris. We have a very special guest today.
That's what I meant.
Little sexual still.
I didn't even mean to. It's accident.
We have a writer, an actor, director, producer. All the above.
All of those.
Of the brand new feature-length, independent horror comedy, Hanky Panky.
It's funny how serious. I know the name, but it's funny how serious you were to say Hanky Panky.
I'm giving some TLC to the guests, bro.
It was just, I know, but it was just funny how you just said that so serious. Hanky Panky. I can't even fucking say it without laughing.
Please welcome Mr. Nick Roth to the show.
Welcome.
Nick, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show. We're happy to have you.
Oh, man, so excited. Ready for... do you guys pronounce it KoK, or you just go for KoK every time?
I go for KoK. Steven, do you?
It was an accident. I don't know. I don't know.
It wasn't the savviest acronym in the world. It actually was brought up to us in a text format. My old man said that he was, when we first got started, he said, hey, I just listened to KoK. And we're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
So we embraced it, man. This is the KoK show. What's up?
I think lean in. Okay, I'm a KoK fan. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. So resume's looking pretty impressive. We have a writer, an actor, a producer, a director. Congratulations on the brand new feature-length film, Hanky Panky. Yeah. Did you begin as a writer?
I began as like trying not to be a writer, and I went to grad school and realized that was a terrible mistake, and I should be a writer. It's very fun to write things, like to make things up for a living if you can somehow manage how to figure out how to do that.
Oh, so, I bet. Especially when it comes to imagining something so creative as this project. So I have a question for you. What inspired you for this? Do you have like a nostalgic handkerchief that you love, or do you just have a fear and hatred towards hats?
Yeah, so it's based on a true story. I fucking hate hats, and no. This movie is based on I think that a lot of independent films, one of the challenges is like you come up with this idea and then you try to do it with no money or whatever, and it's very hard, and you end up compromising and sacrificing, and a lot of times don't pull it off. We instead, for Hanky Panky, was very much like, what do we think we could pull off and get away with? And let's build it from that direction. So we never have to compromise. It's never like, I have this vision, I want to make a movie with this. It was like, well, we have this cabin, we have friends who can act, we have this weird camera, what are all the pieces we can put together? Well, we can get away with more if we just have these weird puppets and things. And like, it all just fell into place based on the necessity of what like assets our group of friends already had amongst ourselves.
That's fantastic. And so I believe I read that you shot on location in Utah, and how you afforded this really was a no budget production somehow.
That's
you all
amazing.
Just pitched in to rent out the cabin?
So that's my wife and co-director, and also the co-editor, production designer. She plays Rebecca in the movie. Lindsay Hahn.
Yes.
Her dad. That's her dad's cabin. Her dad lives in northern Utah.
Awesome.
He's a composer. He also composed the music for the movie.
Love
so
it.
when we say it's like really a small, everyone on this movie is friends and or lovers. Pretty much that's true. We all just like went to the cabin, stayed in it, slept in every, there was like 10 of us. We slept in every corner of that cabin and also filmed it at the same time. It was pretty chaotic, but we came out with a movie.
Yeah, you did. That's Congratulations. Awesome. We are absolutely huge fans of indie darlings on the show. We love independent horror. With a story like that, I mean, what an adventure that must have been. So I was going through, it's so cool that everyone is either friends or seeing each other, like it really is a close-knit family. How did you manage to score Seth Green, of all people, to hop onto this project?
He's a friend. He's just a friend.
Awesome.
Lindsay and Claire Grant, who plays Kelly, is Seth's wife. And Lindsay and Claire became friends many, many years ago, and they met in an improv class they took together. They both were like actors whose managers, I think at the time, were like, you should go take an improv class. And so they went and took improv class. They didn't stick with the improv, but they stuck with each other, became like best friends. And so really like and that's how we met Ashley, who plays Diane, and then Toby is a childhood friend of Lindsay. So the whole thing just sort of like came together around, we're all friends with each other. And I couldn't tell someone like, go make a movie in a cabin with no money with people that you like hired but didn't pay.
Yeah.
So this was very much a like, well, I think our friends would do this with us, and we can all just sort of like pool money for food, basically.
Yeah.
I'll put a few $100 in for batteries or whatever, and gaffer's tape.
That's literally the story of the show. Hey, I bought a microphone. Do you want to hang out with me for an afternoon?
Yeah.
How was it?
Did you find that it was quite easy to do, but then editing took you a very long time? Because that was our discovery.
I lucked out. See, I just slowly built everything with a great friend of ours, Brian Master. Shout out to Massive Visual Media. Over time, it got a little bigger, a little more professional. And this poor guy over here, I set up the show, I take care of all the business end, all that stuff, and he is stuck with all of the editing. So a major round of applause for this guy, because I can't do it.
I do what I can. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you for your service. Yeah. We discovered only after making you shoot a whole movie and you're like, we did it, mission accomplished.
But
and then you discover that actually it's significantly more work to edit it than it was to put the production together and do it.
It takes time.
I love you, Steven.
That's for sure.
I love you. So how was it co-directing with your wife?
You know, we had never technically co-directed before, but we've worked together on so many. We've been together a really long time. We've sort of like wrote and produced a bunch of things before. I had written things that she had directed, or we've done music videos. She's also a musician. Like, so we had a pretty good. I mean, that was honestly the least of our problems. I know, like, for some people, it's like, oh, this might be challenging or be great, but like for us, it was like, this is very second nature, and we have to somehow make a movie with no money. We have very limited time. We have like very uncooperative blizzards that we're trying to shoot in and around. Those things were hard.
Yeah, that was a white set. I mean, that was a lot of snow. Yeah.
There's almost no fake snow used in Hanky Panky. I think there's the interior of the ice shack. We had to get fake snow to make it match the outside, but pretty much everything else is like record-setting blizzards that hit us while we were there.
That's insane.
Yeah, we were very fortunate. The whole time we were joking, we were like, we're basically shooting The Revenant, is what it felt like, where it was like, we were just out there in the elements.
Are you still teaching at CSU Northridge?
I am. I am an adjunct professor of cinema and television arts. I think that's my full title. Yeah, that's it. Go Matadors.
Absolutely. So is that your would you say that's your main source of income right now, or are you working on more projects for us?
It's probably about 50-50. Like right now is a moment for, you know, screenwriters where it's pretty hard to make a pretty dependable living full time. I sort of like eke out, you know, I pick up like work, like I'm working, but I'm not like zapped on a TV show. Haven't been for a few years. Haven't sold a big script anytime recently. So yeah, so it's like teaching is I think a very good side gig to have, because you're still like just like talking about movies, and it feels like it's all of one thing and not like man, I can't tell you how many friends I have who I've like worked with on a TV show who are driving Uber Eats now or whatever while they try to get the next screenwriting gig. It's tough out here.
And then you're a member of the Writers Guild, yes?
I am. Like 6 years now I've been in the guild, and I was a captain. I guess I am a captain still, which means that, I don't know, that doesn't mean anything. But it's there's ranks.
There's ranks in the Writers Guild? I didn't know that.
No, there's just this thing called the captain's program, which means that you're like in charge of I have like 20 something people who they can reach out to me and be like, hey, I have a question. They never do. So functionally, I don't do anything, but I am a captain.
But we can call you captain. I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you got a cool title.
Yeah. So I have a PhD too. So I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor and a captain.
Dr. Captain. Holy shit.
Yeah. Just adding things. And I believe, I can't remember if I actually ever did this or not, but you can buy 1 square foot of Scotland as
yes, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll make you a laird. So I think I'm a laird and a doctor and a captain.
Perhaps our most prestigious guest yet to visit the Kings of Kill podcast.
I can't imagine anybody who has more prestigious prefixes like titles coming in here and being on any podcast.
That's wild.
And your degree is from Cornell, is that right?
Yeah, I studied English. I thought I was going to be an English professor for a little while. Wow.
Luckily for us, that didn't happen.
No, luckily thank God for the world.
For the world, indeed. Was that
for the future of culture?
Was that a bit of a culture shock, hopping coast to coast like that?
Yeah, I went to UC Berkeley for undergrad, and like when I got into Cornell for grad school, they sort of pitched it as, "Oh, Ithaca is the Berkeley of upstate New York," and that was a lie. They were lying. I like California a lot. It is not the same in Ithaca. And Ithaca wasn't my, look, I'm going to go on a podcast and shit on a whole town. I don't like Ithaca. I didn't like it. I made a lot of great friends at Cornell, who I'm still very close with, but I realized pretty quickly in that program, I was like, oh man, I don't want to write about movies. I want to write movies. Mm-hmm. So I finished as quickly as I could. I was like the most phoned in dissertation in the history of Cornell English, probably.
Hey, you did it though. I mean, a win's a win.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I can't believe that they accepted it.
Well, we're so glad you made it back home to create some art like you have been doing. You worked in China for a brief stint, didn't you?
That was really the nail in the coffin of grad school, is because I was writing my dissertation when I got this crazy. Okay, so this is the longest story that I have. So I'm going to tell the most abbreviated version I possibly can. But my dad is he's a filmmaker. He's primarily a director. He's been very prolific in TV drama, including a popular Fox show called Prison Break. If you were ever fans of
heard of it,
Prison Break back in like 2007,
yeah, dude, yeah.
My dad directed 14 episodes of Prison Break,
dude.
More than anyone else.
What?
And so, yeah, Kevin Hooks did 13. So, take that, Kevin. I'm really like starting beefs on your podcast. This is great.
We got your back. It's all good. We got your back.
So in January of 2013, I was giving my dad a ride home from the airport. I picked him up and got off a plane, checked his voicemail before you could check voicemails on planes or whatever. And he had a message that was from so it turned out that a Singaporean billionaire who wanted to be a film producer knew one agent in Hollywood and called them and was like, I have the rights to a Chinese online novel that's very popular, and I want to bring an American film crew over to make it into a $50 million tentpole studio Chinese. It's the pitch was it's 3D Chinese Indiana Jones. It is like an adventure, tomb raiding adventure movie, all in China, Chinese cast, but to bring over an American filmmaker. And he was like, can you get me one of the following American filmmakers? And this is the actual list. True story. Can you get me James Cameron, Robert Zemeckis, Ridley Scott, or whoever did Prison Break? It's the most popular television show in China right now.
What the hell?
Because little did anyone know that Prison Break had been this massive hit in China. 130 million people were watching it every week.
Ugh.
It was it's just whatever. I don't want to speculate. I'm not going to pick a beef with all of China as well, but whatever you can imagine what brothers who are wrongly incarcerated by a cruel and oppressive system around them, nobly breaking out of prison. Anyway, it resonated in China apparently. And so that launched us on the wackiest, craziest adventure. Because I was at the airport and my dad was they were you want to come to China right now? And my dad was okay. He looked at me and was like, you kind of want to be a screenwriter, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, and you watch all this Chinese crap? And I was like, oh my God, I am binging Legend of the Condor Heroes, an early 80s Hong Kong, kung fu soap opera. I love this stuff. And he was like, okay, let's go to China and pitch a Chinese movie. So we literally they flew us to Beijing that day, and we spent 6 months developing this giant Chinese. It was absolutely crazy. We were living in Beijing. It was very dysfunctional. We were constantly being lied to. We didn't know who we were working for, or whether it was a real movie, or whether the movie was a front for a real estate scam. They were they spent millions of dollars. They were building sets. We couldn't get the script greenlit by the censors. Eventually it kind of they kicked us off the project. I think one of our guys didn't bribe the right guy or what. I don't know what happened. We got sent back to America for ideological concerns.
What a break into the industry. Damn.
What?
Well, yeah. So that's my point, right? Is I was this is much more fun than teaching freshman writing seminars at Cornell or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to do this. And it kind of, then I did have to go and I spent the next 6 years doing assistant work and getting coffee and doing a lot of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But that was my first taste of oh man, this could be so much more fun.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think about it this way: academia and Hollywood share a lot of the same cons, but academia lacks a lot of those pros. It's ruthlessly competitive, very hard to do. A lot of people have really inflated sense of self-importance. But then at the end of the day, it's oh man, getting to put together movies is so cool and it's so much fun. And even when I wrote on a TV show, and it's like, you write a joke and then it airs on TV and like millions of people see it. Sometimes it gets turned into a GIF now.
Yeah.
Like
right.
that is the high point of my career. Last thing I'll say on this rant, but the high point of my career is one time a friend of mine, we were just joking on text. And you know who it was? It was Ashley Holiday Tavares, who plays Diane in Hanky Panky. And she texted me a GIF of like a kid challenging another kid to a duel because she was mock offended by something that I said to her. And I was like, not only is that GIF from the TV show that I wrote, but I wrote that joke.
That's like a double own. That's
yeah. You won.
And she was like, I lose this duel.
Yes, absolutely.
You challenged me to a duel with a GIF based on a joke that I wrote on television.
God, oh, Captain, my Captain, damn.
That's wild.
I'll never do better than that.
Fantastic. That's
fantastic. I've peaked.
Yeah, that's doesn't get better.
For your film Hanky Panky, when did you know? Was it always? Were you always set out to make a full length motion picture, or did it start up as like just a project you're working on, or did you know this is going to be? Did you know we got 90 minutes of gold right here?
Hell or high water, we got to make a feature.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
What happened was we were like Lindsay and I were watching all these VH1 like making of movie documentaries, and we watched like Wet Hot American Summer, and they were like, we all stayed in the cabin together at this summer camp and made this movie. And I think I'm a big fan of Wet Hot American Summer. I love that movie.
Same.
I firmly believe that it wouldn't be as good if they had like had more money and had people staying in hotels and coming in vans.
Probably not.
It was raining the whole time, and like,
I think that they were able to, and not that this is automatic, but for whatever reason, they were able to capture some of the zany energy. And that's true of a lot of these movies. Like, we watched the one on Caddyshack. Same thing. It was like they all got like locked into a hotel for weeks on end because of a hurricane. It's just like they had like a lot of cocaine, and Chevy Chase was there, so you can imagine how crazy. And so, like, we were like, well, we have one cabin. So what's our version of this? Let's make a movie. And we had done a short film called Hanky Panky with a talking napkin in it. And we were like, well, okay, so that's the silliest short film we've ever made. And people seem to really, really like it and think it was very adorable. So why don't we make a feature that's loosely based on that?
Love it. And what you could tell you guys are having fun in it too. I mean, just the opening credits alone with all that like spoofy names for the entire list of the opening credits. Was that you guys just playing around in the editing room, just like, we're stuck here anyways, let's have a little blast?
I think that, although it seems that way, I'm pretty sure that was like in the initial idea for the movie. I was like, we're doing Treehouse of Horror credits.
Nice.
Like that was part of the like, what is the vibe of this movie from the get-go? It's going to have spookified names in the opening credits.
I love it. I thought it was fun. We ask all of our guests on the show to give us a few tastes of your favorite tidbits of horror. And this could be indie darlings. This could be epic creations. What inspires you, or what films you just can't get enough of?
I'm gonna shout out 1985's The Stuff, written and directed by Larry Cohen.
Love it, absolutely.
How do we never hear that? We never hear that from anybody. That movie rips,
dude. Cohen rips. What are you talking about? Hell yeah, I love it. Good pick.
Polarizing choice, but it's one that there's something about that movie. For those who haven't seen it, it's a movie about killer yogurt. And
he's not wrong.
The Stuff.
Yogurt, it's like vaguely sentient yogurt that takes over your body and kills people. And anyway, that's not the point. The point is that the movie feels like this insane fever dream. It has this vibe, this energy. Like, I guess that's what I'm paying attention to right now. Like, is like, when a movie has like, it seems like it's crackling with something that's gone into it, or that is crazy about the production of it, or whatever it is, where it's like, you can't, it's not predictable. You don't know what's going to happen. Everything feels like, it feels like it's good and bad in ways that other movies like just aren't. Like it swings. It swings hard for the senses.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hits them, and it's like, the cast is incredible. It feels like it has like the greatest cast of all like 80s indie horror movies, but then they all got drunk.
That's a good way to put that.
And it's just very exciting and fun to. I've watched that movie a bajillion times. That was the movie that I would put that on in the background in the mornings before we started shooting on Hanky Panky, because I was like, this is what we're trying to
That's
achieve.
a vibe check
nice.
right there.
There
That's a
you go.
vibe check for sure.
Come get your coffee and whatever else, whatever drugs you need to take today, and let's watch 10 minutes of the stuff before we get to blocking.
So now that this is complete and out, are there any future projects you can give us a sneak peek that you're working on, or you just focus on promoting Hanky Panky for now?
Well, I listen. Nobody can stop us from making Hanky Panky 2, because we were able to make Hanky Panky 1 with no money.
That's right.
So
Just a blizzard and a dream.
we are going to. This will have already aired, but so like on Friday, May 31st, we will have debuted a little sneak peek of Hanky Panky 2 at Monster Palooza at the Pasadena Convention Center. We'll be there. So this is tomorrow in my real time, as I'm saying.
Right.
And we're gonna debut a little bit of what we got in store for Hanky Panky 2. I'm working on the script. It's not done. But we'll be reading a little bit of the script, and right now I am editing a lot of very silly teasers together that I'm not sure any of which will ever see the light of day. But I've been basically just going through movies and replacing the main bad guy with the hat from my movie. So,
The hat returns.
Harry. 7 years later, Harry comes back, but this time he's brought like a full invasion force of hats, and it's much more of a. So if Hanky Panky 1 is Clue on acid, Hanky Panky 2 is Independence Day on acid.
Harry, that son of a bitch.
Harry, imagine Independence Day. I'll send it to you when I'm done with it. Imagine it's the scene in Independence Day where like the shadow is going over the White House or whatever, and everybody's looking up into the
It's
sky.
just a hat.
But then they look up in the sky, and here comes like a city-sized top hat with peacock feather eyes and a.
That's
mist of
right.
his
The
breath.
hat did look pretty dope, actually. It did look good with a little mouth slit and stuff. I dug
Used
it.
to see. Well, shout out to Toby Bryan, who made the hat and also the puppeted the napkin, and voiced the napkin and played Woody, and was in charge of blood effects. Like we all did we wore a lot of hats.
A lot of hats.
So I did that. I spent the morning editing the iconic sequence of North by Northwest, except instead of a biplane coming after Cary Grant, it's the hat flying around.
Love it.
Nice.
Trying to visit him. Got some other stuff in store. My creative process is maybe idiosyncratic, but we'll get there. We're gonna have Hanky Panky 2 one day.
Hell yeah. I love it. I love it. I love
I'm
it.
stoked.
Congratulations on the release of Hanky Panky. We cannot wait for Hanky Panky 2. If you ever do complete it, what do you mean? Of course you're going to complete it. Please come back on. We'd love to hear how things have been. Let all of our killer fans know where they can find Hanky Panky.
So I'm so happy to report that if you Google search Hanky Panky movie, we're now the first thing that comes up. So that's what you're going to do
Lovely.
anyway. Just do that. But you have to put movie. If you search for Hanky Panky, you'll get nothing but underwear.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Steven, how's that market research coming?
Yeah, I'll research it.
But yeah, hankypankythemovie.com, and we're on all of the social medias at Hanky Panky Movie.
Cool.
Love it.
If you want to find me for whatever reason, I'm looking at you, Ithaca, China, and who else did I start a beef with? Chevy Chase? I can't remember. But you can find me on LinkedIn.
The other 13 episode director from Prison Break, Kevin or something.
Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin Hook. I don't think I'm sure Kevin's not listening. That's fine.
We'll get him on next week.
Nick, thank you so much. Congratulations. I cannot wait for Hanky Panky 2. Thanks for being on the show, my friend.
I'm just worried that I hope we keep the magic now that I kind of know how to write a script. I definitely didn't when I wrote the first one. So I'm worried.
Fine. Oh, no, you'll be fine. It's all determination, man. Come on.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hope you're right.
All right.
And Sally Ford.
Thank you, Captain. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
Have a
much
good
for
one.
having me on your talk show. I love it. Have a good one.
Hey, you too.
too.
Thanks, man. An overhead and
we
then
gotta
something
clear,
behind
like,
us.
A bunch of. This
I know
shit,
this is.
and then, like,
This has gotten crazy, dude. We should like start working on a new set.
all you have to do is you have 2 stools here for some fucking reason.
It's all
That should
massa.
be recorded.
That's all massa. That's all.
All massa. There's a piece of paper in a
me.
box. You can literally put this box on this.
We should take this off.
Yeah.
We should.
We're drinking on this table, you fuck. I'm just going to rip the audio from the fucking video. You take this box here, you put the K's in between us, and then all the rest of this
we're gonna
bullshit,
record anyway. Listen, we've been trying.
all the rest of this bullshit.
It's built up.
Why is there a fucking
I got
Indiana
carried away.
Jones skull?
I got carried away. All right, it started with good
You
intentions.
can have the K's in the coffee. The rest of this shit.
These are from our.
I know they're promotions and shit. Then hang them. We have a noose.
On what? That's a window, you jackass.
the noose.
That's all suspended
Just
from the
grab a
ceiling.
stick and a fucking bandana and then wrap it around it and then just put it on there.
I need to call the puppeteers from Hanky Panky to come help me out.
Anyways, we
Stick
were
some
interviewing
bandana.
people.
Oh,
person.
god damn. Thank you so much
Welcome
to
back.
Nick Roth for being a part of whatever the fuck this is. Go check out Hanky Panky.
What a transition.
It's us. That's about as good as we're gonna get. Thank you, Nick, for being a part of the show. You were great, man. Best of luck with Hanky Panky too. Can't wait to check out the sneak peek. Monster Palooza of all things.
I just like the name Hanky Panky. It's tight. Monster Palooza, though. I've never even heard of that. It sounds cool.
Really?
Where's it? I don't even know where Cornell is.
It's in New York.
That's why I don't know where it is. It's fucking way over there. I've heard of Cornell in the office when Andy goes there. That's all I know. I don't know Cornell. But cool. It's over there. I'm not. Great.
What a shit show. Check out Hanky Panky. Thank you all so much for listening, for watching, no matter what platform you're on. We don't care. If you're on Spotify, leave us a voicemail. If you're on YouTube, hit us up in the comments section, or you can write to us, kingsgopodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, each and every episode is a request thanks to you. Anything horror related, we don't give a shit. I'll research it. He'll rate it.
I'll pay
Because you
attention.
won't fucking research it.
I research enough of the information that needs to be said. Like last episode, John Cann was great in that movie. I didn't know that he played 2 different roles, but you know what? I didn't research enough.
What did we even do last episode?
Last episode was nothing but trouble.
Oh. God.
It was a great movie. Fun. I thought I had fun.
It was
I
wild.
thought I had fun.
It was. Thank you all so much for being part of the show, for being a killer fan. We absolutely love you. My name's Zach. What?
I'm Steve.
What the hell was your name?
You know what?
dude?
I'm Steven.
Go watch Hanky Panky. Shout out to Nick Roth. Together we are
The Kings of Kill.
You did it that time?
Yeah, a little bit. I had a little.
What is this you
at the
put
end.
on the K?
Oh, actually, I wanted to see if you would realize
What
that.
is
I wanted
it?
to go like a couple weeks before you even realize. It's a piece of paper that I fucking. I don't know. There's paper.
You're so angry.
I just got to do something with this K. The KoK one.
How you know that's the cock one?
I'm just going to hang
Or
myself.
that's the.
I'm going to use this noose.
It's held up by a loose nail. Good luck, dude.
Oh, wow. Cool. Clean this shit up.